Hello, hello. We are live today. Hollywood Gatekeepers, how are we doing? So excited to be here. We have a really great topic I'm really excited about. For those of you that are new to our world, I am Carolyn J. Carpenter, one of the founders of Hollywood Gatekeepers. We are here to train people how to become expert readers for the film industry. So we are very passionate about training people how to read and analyze screenplays so that we can be a support system for producers that are very busy and don't have time to read screenplays on their own. And we can be champions for writers, where we help writers get their screenplay ready so that they can submit it to contests, festivals, producers, whatever it might be, to get that script up onto the screen. That is our goal. So I am also a certified life coach. I love jumping into these trainings so that I can not only help people learn how to read and analyze screenplays, but also how do you make your life better? Like, that is that simple. Really wanting to try to help people to have even-keeled lives so that when they are reading and analyzing and critiquing others, it's always coming from a place of uplifting that person, coming from a place of wanting to make that screenplay better, wanting to help that writer, wanting to help that producer, and never coming from a place of an angsty life, critiquing others and getting all your angst out on other people. We definitely don't want that. So that's why we do trainings that also have to do with having a great life. We want you to have a life of contentment. We're not going for like happy. We need to be happy all the time, but being able to regulate our nervous systems, being able to like be in a place where we can enjoy life and really like take it as it comes. So that's why I'm here today. We are going to do a 2023 recap, because it's almost over. 2023, hard to believe. So every year during the new year, we actually do this twice a year. We do it during the new year, and then we do it again halfway through the year with happy half new year, because it's sort of manufactured in a way, this idea that our new year is, we're going to make a new year's resolution. I actually don't do that. I pick a word for the year instead, which we'll talk about later. But it really kind of starts with, I love the new year as much as it is sort of manufactured. Yes, it's a new time. It is a new time. And it's a way for us to reevaluate, to start new, start fresh. We have lots of plans for the New Year's here at Hollywood Gatekeepers. So I just love the idea of being able to share that with you. So what I thought I would do was go through what we'll be doing. We'll be giving you a handout, not today, but next time. So this is a precursor to your handout for planning your 2024. And that is knowing where you are. You can't, if you're going to go on a trip, you can't go on that trip till you know where you're starting. So I'm just going to give you a quick list of questions that you can ask yourself so that you can determine where you are, so that you can make a plan for the new year. And next time we'll be talking about where we're going. Today is about where we've been. So how's it been? How's your year been? Do feel free to leave a comment in the chat if you would like. But how has your year been? We want to ask you a few questions that you can then write these down. You can watch the replay. You can do it, for those of you that come and watch, we get a lot of people that watch our replays later. So being able to use this as a tool for yourself as you move forward into the new year. So really, by stopping for a minute and saying, okay, let's do Wayne and Garth back in time. Let's think about where we were this time last year. What were you thinking at the end of 2022 as you moved into 2023? Who were you? Like, who was in your life? How were you showing up? What were the things that you were doing? What were the things that you wanted for the new year? What were the ideas that you had moving forward? So write that down. You're writers. I believe that being a writer is a superpower. We have this ability to express ourselves, and it's such a gift. And so many people don't have that. So if you're here and you're watching this and you're in our world, you're most likely some kind of writer. And so being able to use that tool to make your life better, why the heck not, right? So being able to write down what were the things that you wanted for the new year, and then looking back on 2023, how'd that go? Like, what worked? What didn't work? What were the things that you wanted? And then what did you do towards those things? If you didn't do anything, that's fine too. It's more just about just seeing kind of where you are now versus where you were then. What would you say to yourself, a year ago, like today, if you had a chance to talk to yourself, what would you say to yourself about the coming year? And what would you say that you know now that you didn't know then? What are the things when you do that? There's something very empowering about that. You can stand in who you are now, the lessons that you've learned, the things that you've been through, good and bad. Can you go back and look at the way that the year went And what can you gain from that? What can you learn from it? What were the things that went well that you want to do more of? Who are the people in your life that you want to keep? Who are the people in the life that you want to deepen those relationships, right? And who are the people where you're realizing that maybe you don't serve each other, and that's okay too. Maybe it's time to let go. I really do believe that relationships flow in and out of your life. Sometimes someone will come into your life and then they'll go out and then they'll come back in sometimes. So how can you develop those relationships so that they are ebbing and flowing in a way where you're both being served in a really good way? And so I often say in our programs that if you look back on the things and you didn't do the things that you wanted to do, and instead you felt like you were always running around like a chicken with your head cut off, you weren't able to do the things that you wanted to do. And if that's, you're feeling like you're overwhelmed and you're too stressed out and it was so much, you didn't have enough time to do the things that you want to do. If you feel like you were overwhelmed and there was not enough time, that's not typically a time management issue. That's a boundary issue. It kind of means that maybe you were running around helping other people instead of doing the things that you want to do, which is totally fine. That means that you value the people in your life and you value those friendships and relationships and family members, whoever it might be. But how can you also throw in a little value on yourself? Like, how can you also throw in the things that you want to be able to have the life that you want? So as you go back and you look through the things that you did in 2023, like really dive in, go month by month. What happened in January and February? And go through it month by month and really take a look at what happened in 2023 and take a look at what are the lessons that you can learn from how you handled certain situations throughout the year. So we have a tendency, and I see this all the time where people say, "Oh, good riddance 2023." And I remember like specifically in 2019, good riddance 2019. Come on, 2020. And it being like 2020, I mean, it has such a great ring to it, right? And then 2020 was a very difficult year for a lot of people. And so it is that idea of we don't know what's coming. So can we look back on our year, regardless of how it went, regardless of how the challenges that we had? Can we look back on the year and embrace it and be grateful for the things that happened? Because if we did have a challenging year, rather than kicking it to the curb, being like, thank you for the lessons. What are those lessons? And if we had a great year, how were we showing up? How were things different? It could be, we think anyway, that it's about circumstance, the circumstance of this or that happened. But often the circumstance is just the thing. It's how we responded to it that mattered. Whether the circumstance was a challenge and we took on that challenge and we can be proud of it, or whether the circumstance sort of knocked us down and took a while to sort of find our way. Either way, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that we have forgiveness, we have acceptance, we have empowerment through the things that we've been through. So take some time, go through these questions. I'm going to nail them, just kind of read them out to you. What were you doing this time of year, this time of day? Even you can even do it to the day. Like, go back and look and see if you journal, or if you can look at your calendar, you can be reminded what was happening this week last year. Can you look back and really write down what was going on? What were your plans for the coming years? What were you hoping to accomplish in this year as you looked at it last year? And then what happened? Like, what happened? And really write down month to month what happened. And then what lessons can you take with you from what happened? Who were you in January of last year? Like, who were you or January of this year? Who were you in January of 2023? What were the things that were happening for you? And really digging into that. And what are the differences to who you are now? What have you learned? Who have you become? Have you changed a lot? Some people have been through drastic changes. Is it just the needle moved a little bit? Usually we tend to do the same things day to day, and our big shifts in life, sometimes they can happen and a big thing happens and everything changes. Sometimes they're incremental shifts that lead to a bigger change. Very, very common, right? And then really, like, what do you need to let go of that you might be hanging on to from last year? Are there things that aren't really serving you? Are there daily activities that you're doing that you're not enjoying? Are there things that you can let go of from the year, of how you've been handling this year? And if you did let go of those things, what would you be making room for into the new year? What are some of the things that you could do if you let go of some of the other things? So really take these questions, explore them, watch the replay and pause it as you go. And then next week, we will have a handout that has these questions as well as questions to help you move forward. So we really want to build on this throughout the end of the year. We want to help you have tools so that you can really hit the ground running in 2024. And then really, we want to celebrate things. And so when I look back on the year that we had in 2023, like I said in the beginning, I don't set New Year's resolutions per se. Instead, I pick a word. I pick a word so that as I move forward throughout the year, I could just say that word and I can make a decision or choices from that word. So I can say my word for this year was expansion. So I would say, okay, does this decision I'm making, does it cause more expansion or am I moving sort of backwards? I wanted to be moving forward. I wanted to be expanding. Well, the interesting thing that happened during the year for me personally was a lot of this expansion meant reaching for very big things, which meant kind of a lot of stress, right? When you're reaching for a big life and you're reaching for these big goals and you're doing these big things, it can be very stressful. And so some really big changes in my personal life have been like, whew. So now this year, I haven't quite picked it yet, but I think it's going to be simple. I need to be simplified. I need to like I've had all kinds of words about ease or breathing, or I'm not sure what, but it's like to sort of recover from all that expansion, right? So, but when you pick a word, it means that you can move forward and you can start to say, does this thing I'm about to do bring more of the word I had said that I want to have more of in my life, whether it's play or love or, expansion or simplifying or stability or, whatever it is that you feel that you might be lacking, although don't really come from a lack perspective, but whatever it is that you want moving forward, what is a word that would serve that? So as we built Hollywood Gatekeepers, we added some new programs this year. We added a couple of new events that we did this year. We've been trying a lot of things. We're actually doing that today. We have a workshop that we invited just a few people to, that we're just doing some things where we're trying more. I'm trying more coaching element things with our students. Like we just tried a lot of new things because expansion was the word, right? So it's like, well, let's try this and let's try that. And so it was a lot. It was a lot of new content, a lot of new things that we created. We brought on some production assistants that have been fabulous. It's been a really interesting, really big year for us. So that kind of thing has now led to, okay, what have we learned from all of that? So now we're digging into what did we learn from all of that and how do we want to move forward? We have a new event that will be coming in January that was part of that whole thing. And then we have a whole new program perhaps that's coming in February. So those are the things that kind of came out of that as we learned about you, about the things that you wanted. We've done polls inside of the Facebook group. We've like really been talking like, what do you need? What do you want? Feel free to put something in the chat. If there's something you really need and want, like let us know. We're always creating new things for that. So that's where we were in terms of Hollywood Gatekeepers. You'll see that we're going to be sharing some things in the next couple of weeks of some of the bundles that we have, of packages that we've did, of things we've created. So we've had a really fun year creating a lot of new content, a lot of new programs, a lot of new coaching. And so it's been really fun sharing that. And so we'll be sharing more as to what's happening in 2024 as we move forward. And I want you to do the same thing. What did you create over the year? What were the things that were new in your life? What were the things that really enhanced your life? What were the things that were difficult? Really take a look and then see what are the things from that you want to let go of and what do you need to move forward? And we'll give you some tangible ways of moving forward next week. So I love doing these sessions, just hopping in for 15 minutes or so, giving you something to think about, giving you some ways, some tools, hopefully that will help you move forward in your life. I'm very passionate about that. Thank you so much for those of you that are diving in right now. And then also for all of you that watch the replay. I know that's a lot of people. So really happy to have you here. Thank you for being part of our world. Super grateful for all of you. And we will see you next week. Have a good, beautiful week. I'll talk to you soon.